mother dog who traded trust for survival. She looked me in the eyes, those deep amber eyes filled with exhaustion, fear, and something else I couldn't quite name. Then, with trembling legs and a heart that must have been breaking, she gently placed her tiny puppy at my feet. Her body was thin, her fur matted, and her ribs visible beneath her skin. But in that moment, she wasn't thinking of herself. She was thinking of her baby. It wasn't a cry for help. It was something quieter, more powerful, a plea, a silent surrender. As if she was saying, "Please, I've done all I can. Help us." I had seen her before, always from a distance, a stray dog surviving on scraps and shadows. She never let anyone near. But that day, she crossed the invisible line between fear and trust. And she chose me. I never expected a stray dog to trust me like this. I never expected to become part of her story. But that moment, so small, so quiet, changed everything. In our quiet village, even in a place so peaceful, suffering could hide in plain sight. She was one of those hidden stories, a ginger and white stray dog, lean and silent, with eyes that held the weight of abandonment. I had seen her many times, always at a distance, always alone. She never barked or begged. She simply watched, observed, survived. I started leaving food for her. Slowly, she began to appear while I was still within sight. I didn't know her name or her past, but I knew she was surviving, day by day, on scraps and instinct. Later, I learned she had once belonged to a family who ran a small tea house, left behind when they moved to the city. She had waited for them, returning to the same doorstep, until she finally understood they weren't coming back. Since then, she had lived in the shadows, unseen, unheard, but never unloved by her unborn puppies. It was a blistering afternoon in late spring. I was sweeping the front steps when I saw her. She was walking slowly, body trembling, but her eyes were focused, determined. In her mouth, she carried something small, a puppy, barely alive. She came right up to me and placed the puppy at my feet. Then she looked up at me, not with fear, but with something far more vulnerable, trust. I just stared, stunned. She nudged the puppy toward me again, then stepped back, her eyes never leaving mine. It was as if she was saying, "I can't do this alone." In that moment, I felt something shift inside me. I had never seen such a silent plea. I picked up the puppy, whispered, "Where are the others?" She turned and led me through a narrow alley to the back of an old garage. Behind a pile of boards, she stopped. There, in the shadows, was her den. 3 more puppies lay huddled together in the stifling heat. She had already moved 3, and I had interrupted her with the last one. She lay beside them, her body shaking, ribs jutting out, eyes glassy. She had nothing left, yet she had given everything. As I knelt, watching her, I wondered how she, alone and starving, was still so full of love. Before she was a stray, before her ribs showed and her eyes carried the weight of survival, Milky had a name. She belonged to a family with a tea house, loved and home. Children would sneak her food, the grandmother would slip her fish. She was a fixture, tail wagging, but the tea house struggled, and the family left for the city, leaving Milky behind. Maybe a mistake, maybe they couldn't take her. She waited for days, returning to the shuttered tea house. Hunger gnawed. The warmth of belonging was replaced by the cold sting of loneliness. She wandered, searching for scraps, dodging stones, learning about kindness and closed doors. She became a ghost, quiet, cautious, invisible. And then, one day, she became a mother. I ran home, heart pounding, and returned with a crate lined with towels. I placed the puppies inside. The mother followed, gaze fixed on them. She didn't resist when I lifted her. She was so light, too light. Her head rested against my chest, her breath shallow. The drive to the clinic was a blur. At the clinic, the vet said, "She's critical, but she's not giving up." Neither was I. Back home, I turned my living room into a sanctuary. I named her Milky, for her fur, and for the hope she'd nurse again. She lay curled in the corner, too weak to move, but her eyes followed her puppies. She wanted to care for them, but couldn't. So I did. Every 2 hours, I fed them formula, held them, whispered to them. They were small, helpless, but they drank, they fought, they lived. Milky watched me, not with suspicion, but with gratitude. The days blurred together, feedings, cleanings, moments of hope. Milky began to eat, slowly, carefully. Her eyes grew brighter, her tail began to wag. The puppies opened their eyes, crawled, explored, played. Milky began to groom them again, curling around them. She was still weak, but present, trying. I was there, every step. I had never felt so needed, so connected, so alive. Weeks passed. The puppies, Biscuit, Mochi, Nugget, and Pip, became whirlwinds of joy. Milky watched them with pride. She had nearly died for them, and now they were thriving. My home, once quiet, was filled with laughter, life, wagging tails, soft snores. I never planned this, but couldn't imagine life without them. They filled a space in my heart I didn't know was empty. Milky's story is not just about survival. It's about love, trust, the unspoken bond between souls with nothing left but each other. Abandoned, forgotten, left to fend for herself, she never gave up. Not on her puppies, not on hope. And when she looked into my eyes and placed her puppy at my feet, she made a choice to trust again. That trust changed everything. In helping her, I found something I didn't know I was missing, a sense of purpose, a reminder that compassion isn't just about saving lives, it's about connecting them. Milky taught me that love doesn't always come in grand gestures. Sometimes it comes in the form of a trembling body, a silent plea, a mother's last strength. And when we choose to answer that plea, we don't just rescue them, they rescue us.